What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, and here for the third part of Josh's video. And today we're gonna talk about what other options we have other than drop shipping on Amazon if there's a sexier business model. And I gotta say, this business model that Josh is going to talk about at the end of this video is really legit. One of the best business models I've ever seen since the cavemen existed. In fact, the cavemen even use it. And a lot of you other people out there that watch my videos regularly will know that I rant and rave about this particular business model. And today I'm going to once again reveal it to you and reveal to you what not only I've sold, but Josh has sold and a lot of other people have sold. And we're going to talk about how simple and easy that even a caveman can do it. So without further ado, I'm excited. I hope you're excited. I know that my cat, as usual, is always excited. So let's go and do this. All right, so we're back with part 3 of the series with Josh, who knows everything that there is to know about drop shipping. Between him and I, we've got about as much experience as, I don't want to use one of my bad analogies because last time I was being grilled about using the term streetwalker to a Gen Z kid. So he finally figured out what streetwalker was and he was up in arms. He was almost insulted that I called him a streetwalker. He said, instead, Liz, please call me a gigolo next time. So I'm here with Gigolo Josh. Although we want to make sure his girlfriend's not watching the actual video because then she's going to freak the hell out. She's going to say, why in the hell is Liz calling you a gigolo, honey? So, all right, let's get off the topic of gigolos, off the topic of streetwalkers, and let's jump straight into drop shipping. And let's talk about alternative business models to drop shipping. Again, like I said, Josh and I have been around the block. That's why I call this streetwalkers. And we've seen quite a bit of alarming, crazy things on Amazon. Now, let's talk about Amazon in general, Josh. How do you feel Amazon as a business opportunity in 2020 and beyond? And what do you see for brand new people in Amazon, as well as what do you see if there's any trends of people that are currently in Amazon looking to do?
Okay, so this is an interesting question. So what I'm seeing here of late, keeping my ear to the wall with the highest level people, I actually see a lot of people who previously had used, let's say, unconventional methods for improving the revenues of their products on Amazon. I see a trend of people leaving, actually, at a high level. I think that a lot of people are realizing that Amazon there's people who have built incredible 8-figure, maybe even 9-figure businesses on Amazon, exclusively on Amazon, and they're realizing, shit, I don't have any kind of presence off of Amazon. And I think a lot of them realize that Amazon has them by the balls and they need to move to a different platform, have their own website, have that kind of thing. So they may not be totally moving off of Amazon, but I think that a lot of the higher level people are going to start putting less time and ingenuity into Amazon itself. And so it seems as if it's a horrible time to get into Amazon, honestly, both with drop shipping and with FBA. I don't think retail arbitrage is ever going away. I think that's always going to be there. But with the drop shipping and the FBA, it seems like a bad time. But I find that interesting because at the same time, when it seems like the worst time to go into something, it might be I think you're actually approaching the best time to get into something, right? So as the people that are deploying millions of marketing dollars onto Amazon leave, people that use black hat methods leave, then it may be a good opportunity to jump in and get your feet wet in FBA.
Right.
I always say start small. But if we're looking at a new Amazon landscape where Amazon has become so sophisticated that if you do anything in the realm of black hat, they're going to get the FBI on you, so you can only use organic white hat techniques like PPC sponsored products and advertising, then it may be a good opportunity. Not now. I would say give it a few months and maybe we'll know more. I just know that I had a friend who just tested it out, did it totally organically, and he actually had a little bit of success. And so I'm going to keep looking at him and working with him and seeing how he does. But he's a newbie. He has an old account, but he's a newbie nonetheless. And so because it's almost like the 2008 recession, right? Like when everyone lost their houses, that was actually the best time to buy houses. You know, amongst the, let's call it the recession of Amazon, that's the best time to get in a sense. So as people leave, it may open up new opportunities. So, you know, while the masses are running away, it may be a good time to run towards Amazon. But I can't confirm that yet. It's an idea in my head that I want.
Right, and that could very well be the case. In my opinion, I just interviewed a $35 million a year Amazon seller who was almost on the verge of actually throwing in the towel because of all the different, like you said, unconventional methods of actually ranking products and all the attacks that they took on from competitors. And recently there was an article, which I actually have a video coming out, about 6 people that were indicted in one of the biggest Amazon scandals ever to hit the Amazon market. And we kind of actually knew these people. So without knowing that they were doing all these really underground black hat techniques. And it was kind of very surprising to me because these are people that have grown their business not just on Amazon, but outside of Amazon. For somebody brand new, Josh, I know that you said it might be the best time, but how scary do you take it that is to somebody that's brand spanking new, kind of like you were a few years back, to actually jump into Amazon?
Okay, so, you know, one thing I would point out first and foremost is that, you know, that those people were indicted. They haven't been convicted yet. But I think if that goes through and they are convicted, I think that's going to scare a lot of people, you know, and I think a lot of people are going to run away. Yeah, that generates fear. And so as a noob, I would feel a pressure to not run towards Amazon. But at the same time, it's oftentimes the counterintuitive action that can be the right one. And that's why I say keep your ear to the wall. Maybe, you know, after some tests here, we'll realize that it's actually a good time to get into Amazon and just be completely white hat. And maybe you can actually make some real money, maybe something above a 10% margin, you know? So as a beginner, I would wait it out. I wouldn't jump in yet. Give whatever's going on in the Amazon world right now, give it some time to settle down, let more information come out. But knowing that black hat techniques are not being used for the most part gives the average Joe an advantage. It really does, you know? So I'm cautious yet optimistic is what I would say.
Right. That's some good points that you actually make there. Now, I know recently you've got me into watching this show, Rick and Morty. I mean, all the kids are watching it, so I figured might as well jump in there and figure out what the fuss is about. And we thought that we would do this particular video, like you said, that most Rick and Mortys are done with like improv. So we're kind of like improving, and I just wanted to point out to people that obviously you got one, the brains, and then the other one that's not. Like I would probably play the part of the grandpa because I'm much older and I'm obviously like much smarter than Josh. But Josh knows I'm totally kidding because Josh would actually play the part of the grandpa. Like people think he's 30 and sometimes people have actually thought that I was younger even though I'm old enough to be his mom. Which is kind of like a truth, right? But the reason I bring that up is because the grandpa always travels into the future and stuff like that. And obviously you have the brains of the grandpa. And so the grandpa travels into the future and looks for different creatures. And he's doing all sorts of crazy shit with his drinks, right? And his booze. And obviously you're not drinking it up and boozing it up because it's pitch black out here in Miami and we're here filming a video. But what do you see, like the grandpa, that's able to travel into the future, he's almost got like a time machine. What do you see the future for any people that are wanting to get out there? What is the next big thing that you see that's kind of like not as huge a step as, hey, you got to invest tens of thousands of dollars to get this or to get into Amazon FBA, but something that somebody can gradually start out with, that just sit around at home right now, has a couple $100 to their name, and they just want to get started with e-commerce because they see this big boom. Obviously, the boom is very real, but there's a lot of problems within Amazon, and there's obviously a lot of problems within Shopify and stuff like that. But what is the first natural stepping stone you see that somebody has a couple $100 that wants to dip their toe into the e-commerce pond? What do you recommend they do?
Okay, so first off, thank you for putting those constraints around me, because I was thinking crypto, stocks, Forex, everything, right? So in the confines of a couple $100 a noob in the e-commerce realm, I would say that first and foremost, those couple $100 that you have should go into as much as you can deploy into educating yourself about the world of e-commerce and general business. You have, if you're going to perform well, you have to be well informed. You have to understand money, you have to understand business, and you have to understand how e-commerce works. And from my perspective, I'm actually really, despite my inability to express my excitement, I'm actually really, really excited about looking at one of the oldest business models in e-commerce, which is not quite retail arbitrage, but just arbitrage and reselling at a general scale. I mean, if you think about it, the fundamental principle of any business person, or any business model for that matter, besides creating something that bring a new value to the market, which requires a brand new invention. Outside of that, every other business model, from Bitcoin and Forex and stocks and e-commerce and everything in between, agencies even, it's all about, even real estate, it's all about buying low and selling high. And so that is one of the most fundamental principles of business. And if you can find a fast, efficient, low risk, low cost, effective way to buy low and sell high, then you will make money. That's obvious. If you can buy something for $2 and sell it for $8, you'll make $6 profit. Let's say you lost $1 on the merchant processing, you made $5 profit. Off $2, you made a 250% ROI. Not too bad. So I'm more excited than anything, and I'm telling this to anyone who's starting. Like people in my family have been asking me about it, and I'm telling them to first off educate themselves and learn, but then get into the world of what I'm just going to call general, almost arbitrary arbitrage, right? And that goes with buying and reselling on any big platform. And the important part is that you're not reliant on any one platform. If you're doing Amazon dropshipping, you're reliant on Amazon still. Your supplier is Walmart and your seller is Amazon. And if either of the two go down, you're fucked. You lost your business. If you have a mixture, a blend of all these different platforms that your arbitrage business is based around, then you can make a lot of money. If you can buy something on Amazon for $4 and sell it on eBay for $12, there's a profit potential there. If you can buy something on Walmart for $4 and sell it on Amazon, then awesome. You can buy something on Walmart to eBay. The more platforms and the more opportunities, the better. Look at everything from, and of course, I'm not saying go into real estate, because now we're talking about multiple tens of thousands of dollars transactions. I'm just talking about e-commerce. So everything from sneakers to hoodies to drops to everyday consumables, and if you have a method of finding those opportunities for arbitrage, then you can take advantage of them. Even if you have to hold for a little bit, you can assess your risk to reward ratio and understand that maybe at worst, you'll return the item and break even. Like, that's a basically zero risk business model. And so I love that, because you can devote a large majority of your money to education, and then you can go into a model knowing that it's almost zero risk, because liquidation can come from returns, right? And there's just a plethora of opportunities out there. There's all kinds of groups that you can get into that give you alerts and things like that. And so I'm 100% focused on that. And what's most important is this has been around since 1999. I don't know, since the invention of the internet, pretty much. Like, there were arbitrage opportunities before the internet. Yard sales, same thing, right? And so this business model has been around for over 20 years, and it's still here, and it's never had a hiccup. And that's the thing that I like most about it, is that after 20 years, tested and true, this business model still works. Unlike any other one that had its huge ups and downs, this one's been constant. And I think it's the most safe, secure, and awesome business for a starter.
Yeah, now, obviously, Josh, you do not watch my YouTube videos, so I'm pretty pissed about that. So I'm going to make sure I eat your half of the pizza in a minute here, because I've been telling people this business model has been around longer than Jesus, Josh. Jesus possibly bartered for sheep. Jesus possibly bartered for vegetables. Even the cavemen potentially bartered for, I mean, who knows what they bartered for, but they possibly bartered for fish or meat or potatoes or berries or whatever cavemen were eating. So this actual business model is as old as time. Now let's talk about traditionally how this model has been done, because both you and I have done it the hard way, which is we jump into our pickup. In your case, you jump into your car and we drive out all over the place, like Big Lots, Target, Walmart, Tuesday morning, whatever in the hell stores are out there right now. And we kind of scan every single item that's in the store, hoping to find an arbitrage opportunity to then ship into Amazon. But as you talked about, we're talking about multi-platform thing. What if you were instead able to sit from the comfort of your own home and have an alert sent to you telling you that a product which has sold on eBay recently for much higher than what you can currently purchase it at one of several, even dozens and dozens, sometimes hundreds of stores, is available for purchase, and you can quickly put that product and flip it on a site like eBay or Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. How awesome does that sound like? Josh, let me ask you a question. This is like super serious. How much money would you spend in gas on a given week driving out to Big Lots and stores like that? And how much time would you put into it?
Yeah, a lot of fucking time. I mean, this is how I got started. This is how most people I know got started. Because this has been the foundation of understanding business, for one. When you do this, you understand it. But to your question, I don't know. I was probably spending, a couple $100 a month on gas. I was going to Walmart at 2 a.m., the 24-hour Walmart scanning shit. I was getting kicked out of Targets for scanning stuff. It's like it takes time.
Good days.
It's kind of embarrassing sometimes, almost. And so yeah. I mean, it's still a profit. It's profitable doing it that way, the traditional retail arbitrage, physical yard sale, grind it out type of way. But yeah, that's going to take a lot of your time. That's something you probably can't do if you already have a full-time job. It just takes too much time. And to your point about this being around before the time of Jesus, I agree with you. But the ability to do it from the comfort of your own home has been around since maybe 1999.
Well, we still had to drive around in our trucks, though, Josh. Jesus rode around in, a camel or something, I don't know what times were like that. I'll admit to all the viewers, I've never read the Bible, but again, I've never really read anything. So you guys cannot blame me or cannot hold it against me for not having read one book if I haven't hardly read any other book. So, all right, so let's talk a little bit more about technology and how that, and we'll kind of cap it off there because I know we gone long there, but what kind of technology is available to us right now that wasn't available to us, say, a couple of years back, that now makes this easy to do from the comfort of our own home, Josh? And the reason that I left this actual question to you is because you are obviously the Rick of the group, and you can kind of tell us about that technology. And it's also your generation technology that you should be very familiar with, as opposed to myself. I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm the Morty.
Gotcha. I appreciate the compliment. So as far as the tech goes, I mean, obviously the internet has changed drastically over time. There's more platforms. You have more. The more platforms, the better. So that's number one. We have more platforms to choose from. Things like StockX, eBay, Amazon, Walmart, all in between. But other things the big thing that's around now, and I'm actually involved in the creation of some of this technology. It's very complex, but things like web scraping bots, for example, around that are analyzing these, that are built for this specific function to do the work of 5,000 men in the matter of a couple seconds. So there's incredible technology that is constantly searching for these opportunities. And a lot of this is showing up in things like Discord groups. People are getting into Discord groups. That's a pretty new platform. It's somewhat similar to Slack, but way better. I would say basically it's more public. It's easier to use, and it's it's a technology for my generation, Gen Z. So a lot of people are leveraging that and using it to build a community and a place where people can get these alerts. Now, oftentimes you have to pay, a little bit of money to get into a group where you have to. You can get these alerts on these opportunities, but you have to pay a little bit to get into those groups. But it's nominal compared to what you can make. One transaction can make your money back. So I think the big technologies are bots and Discord. Really, I would say those are the big two. And just knowing this technology is already out there, finding these opportunities for you, so that you don't have to go out with your phone and scan shit, because we've got these bots roaming around the internet doing the exact same thing. It's like having, like I said, 500 employees doing it for you, and they're sending you the opportunities in real time to take advantage of. And that's something we've never seen before. And the people that take action on that quickly and do it at scale, I know for a fact can make millions of dollars. You're not going to start, you can make millions.
Right, absolutely. And I just recently did an interview with Kevin, who did, Kevin, he did $3,000 in his first month, pretty much almost selling just power blocks. So I call him the power blocks king. But you wouldn't know that, Josh. You don't see the videos on this channel. But let's talk a little bit about Discord. And I promise this one will be the very last question. I know we've run a little bit long, but I think it's well worth it for those of you guys that are still sticking around. And that question is, let's talk about Discord. When I first used Discord, Josh, I was quite intimidated as to what was going on. And I thought, I don't even understand the purpose of this. This thing's like crazy. It was actually recommended to me by a hardcore gamer, and I was on it and I didn't know what was going on. And I knew that their ecom group met in there, so I was in there, and they rarely even used it. But as I started to and begun to dig into there, I realized just how wonderful a tool and platform it is. And I also found that it's one of the easiest platforms to use. What do you say to people that are listening to this channel that don't come from the Gen Z, don't come from the millennials like myself, that are sort of like, I don't even know, I might be borderline millennial or borderline crazy, either one. But what do you say to those people that are kind of intimidated by the platform or the software and are like, oh God, like my kid uses it? I also even had a guy over here one time, I won't say who it was, it was actually a famous person, Josh, so I didn't even tell you this. But when I told him about my Discord group, he went freaking bananas. And he was like, tried to open up a Discord account when he was here at my house, and then he found out that his son had already opened one up, and his son was 8. And he got on the phone right away, and he got so pissed off at his son. He was like, son, what are you doing on this platform, spending money on he found all this crazy stuff going on. But anyways, this was an 8-year-old kid. So what do you say to people that are intimidated by Discord? What do you say about its ease and about people to get past that barrier and just jump on Discord?
Yeah, first and foremost, I would say, hey, listen objectively. If you're scared, don't be. And the reason why is it's almost like a social media platform. And we've seen the evolution of social media platforms over the past 20 years. And at one time, Facebook was only for college kids. Nobody else but college kids were on there. Now my grandma's on there. My grandma knows how to use Facebook better than me. I'm not even on it anymore, right? Than Instagram. And some of my friends don't even use Instagram anymore or Snapchat, right? So it feels like when a new technology comes to market, it's adopted initially by the younger generation. But time and time again, we've seen that older generations, once they decide to dip their toe in, they realize how easy it is. Just the sound of it, I don't know if it's like snobbery or something, but it's like people don't actually want to get into it because there's kids there. Don't worry about that. You're not going to get in, don't chat with kids, but it's a social media platform. And what I can tell you is that this is definitely a platform that is used for every spectrum of intellect. It's used for little kids who are playing games, and it's used, I know for a fact, there's a big Discord group for this guy named Eric Weinstein who's working on a fundamental theory of physics involving 14 dimensions. And he's got the highest level IQ physicists in there. And they're in their 80s and they're doing shit on Discord. So if they can do it and they're accustomed to a chalkboard, I promise you can do it too. Just jump in, test it out. You'll see how easy it is. And it's fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I will definitely let you guys know when the Discord group that we've been actually building out is open, and I will leave a link in the comments below and in the description box below. But other than that, I hope you guys are fine with the fact that Josh and I ran a little bit late. And any last words from you, Josh, before I sign off here?
Last words. I would say I really can't explain. I can't really express for a reason how excited I am about this opportunity. I know when you and I get into a passionate talk about it, like you see how fired up I really get about this opportunity, because everyone I know who's successful started this way. And so if there's any beginners out there, I really fundamentally truly believe that this model is the way to start. So definitely look out for that Discord link, jump in, dive in, and learn, because from my perspective, and I'm a person who, whenever, if I were to ever sell anything, it'd be with integrity. I think this is the most ethical thing anybody could provide to somebody else as a beginning business model for starters. So I'm just super excited about it, and I think you should be too.
Right, I'm super fired up. So again, we'll put that link below. But other than that, as usual, if you guys have questions and or comments, post them below. I always personally answer them, and I will see you all on the next video. And don't be shy, jump into that group. I will make sure you guys at least get a free trial so you can test it out. I guarantee that if you stay in there long enough, at least a day or two, you will at least find one product that you could buy and resell and make enough money to pay for an actual membership once your trial runs out. So thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see y'all later.